Since the ViveCon event, there's a ton of videos come out about people's thoughts on the new HT headsets. A lot of the feedback has been negative, and a lot of people on the fence. For me, it's a very positive thing. Being a Vive Pro 2 owner from the beginning when that came out, I loved it. I loved that headset, and well, I love the original Vive, and it's the Vive that got me obviously not just into VR but really into sim racing. You know, I'd played car games and stuff before, but really only got into sim racing because of VR, and that's thanks to the Vive. But the Vive Pro 2, I just love that. I think it's comfortable. I love the audio solution, and something I've always wanted, I was hoping from HTC, was just an improved version of that. That's so much so that even though I use the G2 in my rig and the Quest 2 in the other room for room scale games, I've kept my base stations hard mounted. I've kept the index controllers just in the hope that something would come out, preferably from HTC or something base station tracked in the future. And so this news is great for me because I love the Vive Pro 2, and this is just the same fit. I love the audio solution personally for me because I use a motion seat, and having actual headphones on my ear drowns out the sound. The G2 sound is great, but it doesn't drown out the sound of my motion seat, which is quite a big factor to me. And it's a faff, obviously, if you've got to take them off and put headphones on yourself. The other improvements I'm pretty happy about. Obviously, you know, resolution jump's great. We don't really need it because the G2 is hard to push to full potential at times, quite a lot of the time. But, you know, it future-proofs it a little bit. And the PPI and stuff is just phenomenal. So, you know, even the G2 at 50% looks great. So, you know, the resolution bump is great, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is a bigger field of view. Maybe it's not huge, I don't know. They say it's a horizontal field of view of 120. We'll have to see, but anything bigger is great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's the main thing I'm really looking forward to. And of course you've got the 120 hertz. Now I hope we can run at 90 hertz. It isn't that clear on their specs page. It says 90/120, then in brackets 90 when used with the wireless adapter. I assume we can switch between 90 and 120 when it's wide. It'd be weird if it's locked at 120, and that would not be good because obviously that's not an easy target, 120 frames per second. But I'm sure that's the case. That would make sense that we can run it at 90 or 120. Personally, for me, I actually would have preferred a lower hertz option, 72 or 80 maybe, because just for me, I've tried higher hertz, and it's not a massive difference to me. I like the option to be able to go higher graphic fidelity with a lower frame rate, but that's just me, that's subjective. I know probably most people want a higher refresh rate, but anyway, so it's good to have that option. So yeah, I'm happy about it because I know the price, alright, it's expensive. I'm paying $659 with the discount code that's available at the moment. But, you know, I've already got the infrastructure in place. If I had to go out and buy the full kit, no, obviously that's ludicrous. Do not buy the full kit. I believe it comes out on the 4th of June and it's going to be about 1,300 quid. So like 1,400 euros and dollars. Don't get that, because for cheaper than that, for less money, you can buy the Vive Pro 2 on its own and then buy the base stations and index controllers from Steam. And the total will be less. Now, you might have an issue with stock levels on something on Steam, but yeah, overall you'd be paying less and have the index controllers. It is unforgivable, really, that the Vive ones are shipping with any headset in 2021. The Vive ones are terrible. Yeah, they can get the job done, but they were alright back in the day, I suppose, but whoever came up with the trackpad idea, no, that just needs to be dead for good. You know, it's not what we want. So yeah, my thoughts really on the Vive Pro 2. Look, for me it just makes sense. I loved the Vive Pro 2. I loved the comfort. I loved it doing the audio properly on my ears for my purposes. And yeah, I'm getting an overall bump in everything. Hopefully the sweet spot. I mean, look, we've all wished the sweet spot in the G2 was bigger, so it's certainly not going to be any worse. Yes, I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. Another bonus is getting rid of the mixed reality portal. Like, using all that hasn't been a real problem, but there's been a few games that haven't played friendly with it, and it's just another layer of software I can get rid of. So yeah, that would be pretty good. And yeah, for some seated games, I'll be good to get back to using the index controllers, which have just been collecting dust. So yeah, my thoughts on it. It's not, if you've got a G2 and you don't have the Vive infrastructure, yeah, obviously it's not probably worth diving in and getting the whole kit, getting the base stations and all that. It's really not worth it, I wouldn't have thought, especially if you're just looking to be a cockpit gamer. Then no. And the wireless thing, I've got a wireless adapter, so I'll give it a go. You know, I'll see how it goes. I won't sell that. But yeah, the resolution drop for that apparently is quite substantial. So of course, for wireless gaming at the moment, the Quest 2 is the best option. But that brings us on to the Vive Focus 3. Now I'm tempted. I am tempted, stupidly. It's a ludicrous amount of money, but my god, does that look awesome. It looks awesome. And it's made of like some magnesium alloy or whatever. I mean, how cool is that? So once, you know what, it's not impossible that I'll own one of them in the future. I mean, I'm an idiot, aren't I? I bought two Vive Pros to have one permanently wireless, one not. Who does that? So when I've sold all my spare VR kit, which I'm going to get around to doing, I've got to now, see how it goes. You know, maybe I'll end up getting a Vive Focus 3 to replace the Quest. I don't know, it's not impossible. It's stupid, but not impossible. But yeah. Anyway, I've waffled on a little bit. That's my thoughts. I'm looking forward to getting the Vive Pro 2. It makes sense for me. I can understand people being disappointed about the announcement. In fact, it's weird. The Vive, the Focus 3, right? That was teased. You know, shots teased of little bits of it here and there. But then it comes out as an Enterprise. It's an Enterprise headset. Why are you teasing an Enterprise headset? What, to have companies going, oh, this looks exciting, I wonder what's coming? No, you don't. That doesn't even make sense. You know, fair enough, you want to go down the tease route, but do that with consumer stuff. It's just a bit weird to me. But anyway, just to clarify, yeah, because I've got the infrastructure in place, for me, it makes sense. So that's basically the end of it. Anyway, of course, when I get it, I'll compare it to the G2 and so on. And yeah, that'll do it for now, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.